So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop. Prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No! You can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. You might have heard that live shopping is exploding, and I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront, and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. How are you? Come on in here. Good to have you here today. Man, I'm so excited. My anticipation engine is firing on all cylinders right now. Man, and Bike Week is here in Daytona Beach, and it's on my list. I'm going to have some fun. It is the Daily Boost. If you haven't heard my anticipation engine, it's a list of things that I anticipate that I'm going to have fun with, things I get to do. It could be vacation. It could be going to a wedding. I go to a wedding in Gatlinburg in October this year. A bunch of things are on that list. And we just know one of the most motivating factors any human can have is something to look forward to. So Bike Week in Daytona Beach. I live in Daytona, Port Orange area, right in the middle of it, a local here, and I get so excited to go play. And I actually like motorcycles. I don't go to bars and stuff like that. I go to the races. I do the motorcycle stuff. So excited. Have a big goal this year. Not to spend any money. I never reach that goal. I'm a massive failure when I set the goal of don't spend money at Bike Week. I know. My name is Scott Smith. Good to have you here today. Thanks for stopping by. Had a great inner circle call today. I don't pitch this too hard because we don't have that many folks in here, but what a powerful, powerful group of people. We work on so many cool things. In fact, what I'm going to teach you today literally was taught on the inner circle 1 hour ago. So I'm bringing it to you today, and I think you're going to like that. If you're interested, if you want to hang out, be in a room with very smart people, you get coaching from me, you get coaching from them. Man, it's so grounding. We just take care of all kinds of cool things. I can't explain it here. But if you've been thinking about that kind of thing, hit me up on Instagram at Hey Scott Smith, or a note to Scott at dailyboostpodcast.com. I will send you information. We'll talk about it. See if it's a good fit and maybe what you've been looking for, okay? All right, so where do we start here? So this conversation a little bit different. Let me just lay this out in front of you and say, you might think this is business-oriented as we get into this. If you're a business person, listen closely, okay? Because I'm going to dial you into some things that are going on right now. If you're a personal person, and you are, listen closely, because this stuff will work for you as well. It works in every single aspect of your life, because essentially what we're talking about today is some human psychology. I had a conversation last night with a friend of mine. I won't say his name because he may listen to the show. I met him at the church I go to about a year ago, and we've got to know each other. And he's kind of an institution there. He kind of does some things there, and And I'm doing some of the stuff that he's doing. So I recognized early on that he's like, oh no, Scott's going to take over my job. Trust me, I don't want to take over anybody's job at a church. I got enough jobs, okay? But still, there was a little standoffishness, right? So little by little over time, I'm kind of working on the know, like, and trust factor. But I understand at some point that I've got to kind of make a change here because I really want to help the guy. I like the guy a lot and just kind of wanted to break through, and I was having a hard time doing that. So last night I'm there at the brand new building that we're building, and he leans over to me. We've been talking a little bit, and he just kind of said, you know what? Everything in life is a marketing problem. And that got my attention because he said everything in life is a marketing problem. I can count on one hand. I don't even need the whole hand. The number of people who said life. Most people say everything in business is a marketing problem. He said life. He got my attention. And I told him that. I said, man, life. You see it that way? Like everything in life is a marketing problem? Oh, yeah. We went on and chatted for the next hour. It was a great conversation. And as I went through the conversation, I began to take advantage of what I'm going to teach you today. I finally got a door open just a little bit, just enough to do what I'm going to talk about today. And that is something called AIDA. So if you're in the marketing world, the business world, you may know what AIDA means. It's been around for a very, very long time. AIDA is a psychological principle at its core used in the marketing and advertising industry, essentially to sell stuff. And if you ever want to understand yourself or any human around you or your family or your friends or your employees, think like a marketer or an advertiser. You'll understand them more than you can ever imagine. So what does AIDA stand for? AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, action. In every single thing you do in your life, and certainly in the business world, if you can get somebody's attention, if you can build interest in what you're talking about, if you can create desire for what you're going to sell or what you want to get out of the situation and get them to take action, you're going to win. That's what I was doing last time. Once my friend kind of opened the door just a little bit, I could have done it without it. I could have done it on my own and just gotten his attention. I recognized I wanted him to take him down a little bit different road. So what ended up happening was I said, I got to get his attention somehow. And we're surrounded by almost $1 million worth of tech gear, audio gear and video gear and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I know a lot about that. I know it inside and out. I genuinely have owned studios. I own a studio now. He didn't know that. So I jumped in and started giving him ideas. Does this do this? Does this do that? I was talking to the technician that was installing it. And before you know it, my friend recognized that, wait a second, Scott knows a lot about this stuff. He got interested in me because he recognized that I had some ideas here, some knowledge. And I knew that he wanted to accomplish some really cool stuff. And so I said, if we do it this way instead of that way, this piece of gear is capable of this. Have you thought about that yet? Because we can do some really neat presentations. I built his desire. He got very excited about what was possible. He didn't even know what he had in front of him. $1 million worth of tech gear. You can do a lot of stuff. AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. I was pulling him into action mode. Didn't know what that was going to be. I'll give you a shortcut to it. At the end of the night, walking out the door, the last couple of people in the building, he says, hey, we should get together and have coffee and talk business and stuff like that. I think that'd be good. I said, I think so. You're a busy guy. You let me know and I'll be there whenever you want me to be there. He said, I'll call you. Boom. No like and trust factor is fine. But eventually I had the chance to get in there, the door open, and I got his attention, and boom, here we go. I don't know what we'll do with it. Frankly, I just kind of like the guy, and I think I could really help. And I just didn't want the door to be closed. How can you use AIDA in your life? Leadership? You better believe it. If you can get your folks' attention, folks meaning employees, family members, doesn't really matter. If you can build their interest in what you have in mind, if you can build their desire to help you do it and call them into action, you're going to win. Same thing that happens with the goal setting. You can do it for yourself or others. It's the same thing. Business sales, friendships, raising kids, building a peer group. That's what I did today on the Inner Circle. Trust me, right off the bat, I know them well and they know me well. But I also know that they're showing up, getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and Scott better darn well get their attention. I know how to do that, and I better build their interest. And I better build a desire for them to improve their life based on what I just taught them. And I better send them out the door with a call to action.
I'm not giving up. I am selling the building.
The final season of FX's The Bear.
The restaurant is flooded.
Everything's either going to be okay.
No. We are outgunned and we are outmanned, but we have each other.
FX's The Bear, the final season. All episodes now streaming on Disney+.
Facing your passion. I talk about that all the time. It's built on this. If something gets your attention, you will become interested in it. Eventually, that will lead to your passion and your purpose and your meaning and your legacy. It works in every single part of your life. But sometimes people work very hard at it, and they make it more difficult than it needs to be. And in the day and age we live in right now with AI messing up everything, what we call information overload, that is not a new term. That's been around forever. The Stoics knew about information overload. They instead said you don't need that. You need adequate information. So right now what's happened is people are working so hard to figure out how just to run their life with all this information coming at us, and they're just making things too complicated. Sometimes if you're selling a horse, you just need a sign that says horse for sale. Sometimes if you're selling Chinese food, you just need a sign that says Chinese food. Sometimes if you're running a karate school, just say karate. If you have a bowling alley, just say bowling. Sometimes you just kind of cut to the chase and you get their attention. And certainly if somebody's looking for it. Now, there are other ways to do it as well. Gary Vee was chatting the other day. I like to follow Gary Vee. He beats the drum, and every couple of years he gets onto something he's worth paying attention to. And Gary was on the topic of interest for the longest time. We were in the interest era. If you follow and go back in time a little bit, the attention era, some say started back in the late 70s, and then it moved on into the interest era, and then it moved on a little bit, and now they're saying it's in the engagement era. That's where they say we are right now. I think that's a false equivalency. I think engagement is not really what we want these days. A lot of companies, a lot of people are counting engagement as something that means something. I don't think it does, because engagement is kind of false, because that's a like, that's a nod, that's a wink, wink. It doesn't really mean anything. The standards still exist. When you get somebody's attention, when you build real interest and they get real desire, they're going to do something about it. That's how it works. So it's changed a little bit as well. It's different these days. What? It's worked for 100 years. Attention, interest, desire, action. What's different? Well, attention these days is really more of awareness. It's one thing to get your attention about something. It's another thing for you to become aware of what that really means. If you listen to me and you pay attention to me, you'll know the awareness word comes up a lot. It's becoming a lot of what I do. In fact, it's one of in the world that I live in, we always have category of one. And I'm one of these guys that's all about awareness and options, awareness and choices. And the reason I am is because I know it works for me. I know that when I become aware of something in my life, then what can I do? I can make a change. Everybody's like that. So when you understand, if you want to change your life or anybody's around you, and yes, you're going to get their attention, but really what you're doing is you're bringing their awareness to what's going on. Once they're aware, you're moving into the interest area. Then you build desire. And then in the action stage, action is kind of interesting. We have all heard take massive action, right? It's been so beat in us, we don't even listen to it anymore, do we? We've all heard, hey, do this course or do this framework or just do this and you'll get what you want, right? And you're like, yeah, right. I've heard that before. Heck, I've been one of those purveyors of that stuff. I just do what everybody else is doing because it does work, right? But a long time ago, I figured out in this thing that I do, this personal growth / business thing that I do, I realized a very long time ago that we got enough tools, we got enough ideas, we got enough frameworks, we got enough roadmaps, we got all that stuff. It's not that. It's what we're not doing with it. And I'm not the only one. And AI has made it even worse. AI has a bias toward you. AI agrees with you. AI will take you down a path that is not good for you unless you really, really know how to fight with it and make it work. So what is the thing that we need instead of action? See, if somebody likes me and I get their attention and I build interest and I build desire, and then suddenly I'm like, hey, by the way, buy this thing for me, they're not going to like me anymore. What is the one thing everybody wants these days? And the one thing that if you help somebody do right now in your business, in your life, in every single thing that's going on around you, if you do this, what is the one thing that will make them absolutely love you and respect you and listen to you forever? Attention / awareness, interest, desire, and instead of action, implementation. We're in an era of implementation right now. I can tell you, all my clients, every single one of them, the ones that are in business, the consultants, the coaches I work with, every single one of them is missing it. Every single one of them. They're missing two things, actually. They're not accepting that you must get attention no matter what you do to get it. So you bring awareness to what you could do to help somebody. They're missing that entirely. And then at the end, what they're doing is telling everybody what to do. Do this, do this, do this. People don't want that. They want help in implementing it in their life. One of my clients on the call today was talking about trying to put flooring in a house, high-end flooring in a very high-end, like Airbnb type house, right? Got the money, knows what she wants, picked everything else out. They're not helping her. They're just wanting her money. They're not helping her implement what she needs to implement. And so she's frustrated. So we spent a good amount of time on the call today giving her advice, giving her pre-planned responses, giving her ways to help them help her implement what she wants in her life. If you're not doing that, you're missing the boat here. You got to get people's attention, and you must help them implement what they want in their life. If you can do that, you're going to win on so many levels. Be helpful, okay? So the last thing I want to toss in here, I'll do this quickly for you. This is a feed-forward feedback model. I attach this very often to times of change when we're trying to figure out what's working. So if I'm talking to you about interest, action, well, you know the four. You know the thing, right? I'm talking about the stuff we just talked about. You're like, yeah, great. How do I know it's working? Well, the feed-forward feedback model is what helps. You might want to take time a little later to write this down. This is an engineering model. Software folks use it. It's an iterative model. They can get very complicated. I have simplified it now just because I like simple. Simple works. Whenever you are trying to move forward in your life and maybe get somebody's attention, let's put it in that framing, you're going to set an expectation. When you set that expectation, the next thing you should do is just observe what's happening. You're going to notice discrepancies. Where is it working? Where it's not working. When you see that, you do a little thinking, a little noodling, a little praying, and you change your expectation. Because now you know what's working, what's not working. And what have you done when you change it? You have set another expectation. Wash, rinse, and repeat. You keep going through the feed-forward feedback model until you get what you want. So I know I covered a lot today. If you are up to speed on this stuff, you absorb this very, very quickly. If you're brand new, you might be like, man, what the hell did he just talk about? But I spend a lot of my day helping people do this, simplify these ideas so they can actually build their life in a very simple, cool way. I hope it helped. I do. If it didn't, we'll try again tomorrow. And whatever I come back with tomorrow will help, okay? So that's always the promise, okay? I'll see you then.